Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I am going to be doing a TradingView tutorial. All right, so TradingView is, by far one of my favorite apps to use. Okay, I remember when I first encountered this app, it absolutely changed things for me and it made things so much easier for me. So why would we use TradingView? Obviously, TradingView has got so many features that you can essentially apply when you are doing analysis as a new trader, even as an advanced trader. And there are just so many features that can essentially help make things better for you when you are doing your TA or your technical analysis. Okay. So what I want to do, first thing that I'm essentially going to do is I'm just obviously going to be going through everything and by and large helping those that are new, that don't know how to use TradingView, to make things easier for you guys, and also to make sure that you know how to navigate TradingView. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll first start off by clicking on the top left hand side of my screen, and as you can basically see over there, this is my account. Okay, so you see on the right hand side of that, it's a profile settings, accounts and billing, friends that you've referred, and then you see coins over there. This is your home. Okay, so it should take you back home if you click on this. Help center, what's new, color themes, drawing panel. If I can unclick that, you can see that my drawing panel on the left hand side has got a new has been removed, and if I put it back on, my drawing panel is back on. Okay, and this is my language, so depending on which language we speak, English, India, so what's going to happen is that my language is essentially then going to change depending on the language that I have selected over there. Okay, but the language that I use is I use the normal English. So what I would want to do is I would select English right there at the top. All right, so that is the English that I would want, but you can always navigate or change that setting over there depending on which language it is that you speak and which language it is that you are comfortable with. All right, so let's get the party started. So on the left hand side of my screen, okay, first thing that I am seeing is I'm seeing tools that I can use when I am doing my analysis, as well as when I'm doing my forecasting. Okay, so I'm going to click where you see the right arrow, okay, on trend line tools, and clicking on trend line tools, these are all the trend line tools that TradingView essentially offers. So you've got a trend line, horizontal ray, info line, extended line, trend line angle, horizontal line, ray. So this is the ray, this is the horizontal ray, vertical line, cross line, parallel channel, and you've got absolutely amazing tools that you have over here. Okay, now I personally don't use all of these tools. I use trend lines, okay, if I need them. Info line, I have start, horizontal line, horizontal ray, vertical line, as well as parallel channel. Okay, so if I say I click on trend line, okay, as I've just done, your icon will change color. Okay, and it will be a different color. So this one is blue now. If I click here, now this icon is blue. So what I want to do is I want to click over here. Okay, but before we even go to trend lines, right there at the top there are cursors. So you've got a cross, you've got a dot, you've got an arrow, and then you've also got an eraser. Okay, so I've just stayed all of the cross and the arrow. So after you stay, okay, or after you put a star on one symbol that you're going to be using, okay, what you'll see is that it would create a panel for you, okay, or right there as I have it at the bottom. And this panel is a panel that you could possibly toggle and just by and way move it around according to where you see it comfortable for you. Okay, so because I've got my times right there at the top, bar replay alerts, so I love putting this right here at the bottom. Okay, and the reason why this is important is so that when I then want to select tool that I want to use. For example, my rectangle, I'll go all the way here to the bottom, and then I'll click on my rectangle, and then I can essentially draw my rectangle as you guys see over there. Okay, if I delete it, I just left click and then I just click on delete, as you guys can see over there. All right, so so number one, you've got your cursors, and then number two, you've got your trend lines. Okay, so as you will see, okay, on this bar that is created for me, if I unclick or unstop my trend line, you'll see that it will be removed from this bar over here. And if I click it again, there we go. So they put it back on. And if I click over there again, it's out. And if I re-click, they put it back on. Okay, so I love this feature so much because then it makes things so much easier. Then I don't have to, get back into my tools again. Okay, so again, these are trend line tools, and these are all the tools. So number one, you've got a trend line, and of which your trend line, you can, when you click on the trend line, you can left click once, and then to make sure that you click again, and what it'll do is that you'll be able to put your trend line from the beginning to wherever you want to essentially put it. Okay, so you would left click once and then left click again when you are dropping it. So from where you are starting here to, let's say, from here to here, then that is, I've clicked twice. Okay, and what's nice about this trend line is that you can always adjust it according to the length, okay, and where you actually want to put it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm adjusting it. I can move it around my chart, and as you can basically see over there as well, I can just put it anywhere that I want to put it, and this is the same trend line that I wanted. Okay, so very amazing feature. And another thing that is, very fascinating about Tradingview is that if I click on this trend line, say I double click on this trend line, you can see that, I can basically edit this trend line. So I can edit the color, for example. So say I select green. So now it's green, and I can put a text over there. Okay. So say now I put, dollar signs, for example, over there. So you see it will show, and I can also select the color of my text and change the color of my text. So the color of my text was black. Now the color of my text is essentially white. Okay. And another thing, I can move the color of my text either to the top of the trend line, to the bottom of the trend line, or to the middle. Okay. So if I say I move it to the top, you'll see that it will be at the top. Say now I want to take these letters and move them to the far right hand side of this trend line. So what I would do is that I would double click on this trend line, and then I would say right, and then I'll click on OK. And as you guys can see that my wording is moved to the far right, which is absolutely amazing. So you can adjust your wording according to where you want to put it, and you can also, adjust the color of your trend line by just essentially double clicking on that. Okay, and then this trend line has got you can do many things. You can extend it to the left, you can extend it to the right. We have price labels, price ranges that we can put on the trend line. And there's just so many things that you can essentially do: percentage change, change in pips, bars range, for example, date and time range, distance angle. So these are features that you can use just on your trend line. Okay, so I always deem them as wonderful features. They help me a lot and make life so simple. Coordinates don't really have to change anything there. Visibility, settings can be essentially left as they are. Okay, but I find this very, very much it's a very, very helpful tool, especially when I am looking at the market and I just want a bit of more clarity. So I'll obviously go to my trend lines, and that is by way of also me maybe looking at, say, support or resistance, and just maybe having a tool that can mark those out for me. So in terms of markouts, my trend line is always, a go-to tool for me. So I'm going to change its color again to white because of my background color that I have currently on my screen. And then I just, changed it to white. Okay. And when I want to remove this trend line, okay, I don't have to click on them individually and click on this bin over there. I could simply go on to, this bin on the bottom left of my screen, and then I just click on remove two drawings. Now my drawings are removed. Okay, so if you wanted to access, say, trend line, you wanted to access the info line, this would be, exactly the same thing. So this would be your info line, and it tells you your percentage change, your distance, as you can basically see over there, your pips, for example, and as you can see, minus 528. What was the percentage change? So this is absolutely beautiful. It works like a trend line, but obviously it's got a bit, more info, on it, case, which is why we call it the info line. Then we've got a horizontal line. So if you click on it and then you just click again here, then you get your horizontal line. Same with the trend line. You can edit, the color of this thing, change it to any color of your choice, and you can, now it's black, now it's green, and you can, put a text on it. And same thing with the trend line. Your text can be on the far right, the left hand side, or the center, bottom, middle, or top. Okay, so if I put my $sign again over there, I can see that my text is in black. So what I'll do is I'll make my text, say, let's make my text green, and you can see that on the right hand side of the screen there is my text. But if I wanted to put it in the center, then there would be my text. Okay, and then it's up at the bottom. I want to put it in the middle. Now it's at the middle. Okay, say now I wanted to decrease the size of my text because it's too big. Now I've decreased the size of my text. Okay, so very amazing tool that I have over here that I use a lot as a go-to tool as well. Okay, and then we've got all these other we've got the vertical lines. So if I click on my vertical line and I click on my screen again, so these are my vertical lines, and again I can change my vertical lines according to how I want to change them. So as you can see, this is a dashed line. I can make it solid line. My vertical lines are, or this vertical line is a solid line, and I can basically change my color of the line. I can also change how the width of it. Okay, so you see I clicked on the last sort of option over there. So I changed the width. I change the width again to make it smaller, and I can, make it smaller again and again. So I make it smaller here, and then I've made it smaller over there. Okay, and I can also make it dotted. Okay, so by just obviously clicking on, these dotted or dashed or these lines basically. Okay, so I can adjust it, I can change color, I can do anything with this. All right, and then you've got your parallel channel, okay, which is the last one I'm going to go into, and this is also very, very nice. It's a tool that I would basically use. Okay, again, and I love this tool because it makes things so much easier for me. For example, if I've got an order block, for example, and say I want to see the midpoint of that order block, of this order block, for example, and you see I can basically see the midpoint of that order block in the middle over there, and I can by way change its color and change say the channel's color, for example. Okay, so you always want to adjust these settings according to your background, according to your candles, what you would see on your screen. And I've also changed my candles, so these white ones are bearish, okay, and these see-through bullish. Okay, so you can obviously change the setting. The default setting comes in green and red, but I obviously love changing that green and red. I don't like using the normal green and red. Okay, so I've obviously changed this, and the nice thing about the channel is that if you just click, you left click and you hold, you can move this around in any way that you would want to. And watch the beauty about this is that if you click on the bottom and you drag the bottom of it, you can expand it as far as you would have wanted to expand it. Okay, so this again is very, it's a very nice tool that you can essentially have. Okay, if you maybe wanted to draw, your channel and mark off your channel, if you are by way doing analysis, and you can change, the color, on this. You can change the opacity on it, maybe decide that you want to make it, a bit more lighter. So say, for example, this inner color over there. See, now I've changed it, and now it's just a very, very faint color. But if I put it 100%, then it's a dark color. Okay, so I can obviously look at, changing my opacity over there, which is something very, nice to use. And you can obviously change the color. You can put a text onto it, click on this text box and just put a text onto it. Okay, so let me just put my dollar sign over there, and again, put my dollar sign. The alignment is on the left hand side and the color is blue. So if I can change this blue, I'll now make it white. Boom, it's white. I can change the size of this thing, make it size 20, for example. Now it's bigger in size. Let me put it in the middle, or I can put it at the top. Okay, and then I can adjust it maybe to the center, and as you can see, there it is. Okay, so this is very beautiful. So when you know how to adjust one, then you can adjust all of them. Okay, in terms of these trend line tools that you have over here. And another feature that I love is that you can actually lock these. So if you are doing anything, and once you lock it, you can't really do anything on this. Okay, it remains the way that it is, and you can carry on with what you are doing. So you can also unlock this thing. Okay, and once you unlock it, then you can maybe look at editing, or maybe just by way deleting it. All right, and then the next option that you'd have right there at the bottom is that you would have your second tools, which are your Gann and your Fibonacci tools. And as you can see, I've only selected my Fib tool, and I've selected my my Gann box. So if I click on Fib retracement, for example, which is something that we use for measurement a lot in the market. Let's say I wanted to measure the range from the top here all the way to the bottom here. Okay, depending on what strategy I'm using or what I'm trading. I know that the people that might look at using the 0236 level. Some people may look at using these different kinds of levels. Okay, 0786 or 23.6. Some people don't use these 23 levels. Maybe some use different levels. Okay, and this is a tool where you can actually adjust also. So if I click on this tool and I double click on this tool, you can see that these are where all my lines are marked out. Okay, so the 0 is this 0 over there, the 1 or the 0.382, there it is 0.236, there it is 0.5, there's 0.5, 0.618, 0.786, and then you've got your 1, and then it goes all the way to 161, 2636. So this is my default settings, of course. Okay, so say for example you removed all of these. Okay, you wanted specific. So let's say for example I remove 0.23. Okay, so I just unclick it, and you can see that it is removed. Let's say I remove all of them. Basically, I remove all of them, and I am left with only just but a few. So say I remove all of them, removed. So now I have, say, these two left. Okay, and then if I wanted to apply defaults, so by clicking on apply defaults, it takes me back to my default settings, and of which this is maybe what you'll see in color. And what you can do is that you can click on use one color, and then there's that one color. And I want to obviously this is your font size, so you can opacity increase or decrease that. Okay, and another very beautiful thing about it is this background can be made to totally disappear by clicking on background and by making it disappear like that. So if I scale the opacity up of the background, makes it a bit more lighter, If I scale the opacity down, it makes it, it makes it a bit more that I can see through. Okay, so I can obviously look at, by way of adjusting even these values here, where it's written 0.236, I can put 0.239 or whatever it is that I want to put over there. And then I click on OK. Now this has changed to 0.239 over there. Now say now I wanted to say 0.236 again. So I put it on 0.236. So 0.236. And then that is my tool. Okay, so you can actually adjust this tool, and if your settings are not the way that you want them, then what you can possibly do is that you can just go and you can click on where it says template, and then you can just click on apply defaults. All right, then it will take you to your original default settings. Okay, so this is the fib tool that we would use, and then we have fib channel, we have a GAN box. So if I click on my GAN box, you can see that I've made my GAN box just 2 lines. Okay, so again, this is something that you can essentially edit. So I've made my GAN box 2 lines. Okay, these are the 2 lines of my GAN box. And if I click on this thing here that looks like the settings tab, or that looks like a bearing, I just click on this and you can see it's 0 and 1. Okay, I've removed my labels. So if I click on left labels, you can see 0 and 1. They've put it back. If I unclick it, it's not there. If I click on my right labels, 0 and 1. Okay, if I unclick it, and I can obviously, add more lines. Okay, both horizontally and vertically. So if I click on this one over here, it will add. If I click on that one, it will add my line. Okay, and then I can just say right labels, and then it puts all my right labels over there. Okay, but I've adjusted it to these two, and I don't want my labels seen. Okay, so GAN box is something that you can change automatically. Okay, and then right there at the bottom of that, we have got a section for patterns, right? So a lot of people that look at the different kinds of patterns that they want to use. Specifically, out of all these patterns, I don't really use any of them. Okay, the only pattern that I look at is maybe the head and shoulder pattern. Okay, this is one of the only patterns that I basically use, and just by clicking you want. So every time I click, I'm clicking where I want to basically put it. I just left click. Okay, so if I go to my lower time frames, let's say for example I go to my 8 hour, and in my 8 hour I am looking for a head and shoulder pattern on my 8 hour. Say now I've got this as my head and shoulder pattern, then what I would do is, if I wanted to mark that off, I would click on my head and shoulder, and then this is what I'll do: left shoulder, okay, go up, come down, go up again, come down, and then go up. Okay, so this could be a beautiful head and shoulder. If I go to the lower time frames, it would be even more clearer. See, now there we have our beautiful head and shoulder pattern, as you can basically see over there. And again, if I go to my lower time frames, there is my HNS pattern, which is my head and shoulder pattern. Okay, beautifully marked out, over there. Okay, so this is basically what I would use that tool for. All right, so let's obviously go to the next thing. Okay, so let's go on to the next tool. The next tool would or the next section would be your projection. Okay, I love this because now this gives me stuff that I've essentially stored. This would be my long position. So say for example I select long position. Okay, now I want to measure, if say I entered a trade over here, for example, so I want to measure what is my profit target going to be. So the midpoint would obviously be where your entry is. Okay, and then you would have the bottom, as you can see over there, and then you would have the top, which would be your target. Okay, so my entry, the bottom here would be your stop loss, where you would put your stop, and then you can see that it's 110 stop loss, and then my 6.05 is my profit target. So my risk to reward, or my R for this trade, would be 5.5. Okay, so 5.5 would be my risk to reward basically for this particular trade, 5.5 to 1. So for every $1, I'm risking $5. Okay, so this will actually be my RR. And I think for me, it is very vital and important to have this as a tool and something that I, can basically look at and can basically mock up my different kinds of projections that I have in the market. Okay. Similarly, if I click on, so this would be my long position. If I click on my short position, for example, say now I want to do, measure my short. So my stop, I would set it at my stop loss. Okay, where I would want the market if it touches to take me out, okay, because of my risk. And then the middle line would be my point of entry. And then the last one, the bottom would obviously be my take profit level. Okay, and again, this trade, say, depending on how I've marked it out and what I would have analyzed, this, say, profit target is down here. So this is a 1:9.84 risk to reward trade. Okay, so this is why I love this particular setting, because it puts a lot of things into perspective for me. Okay, and then we've got a whole lot of others that we use over there: price range, that range, where you can basically explore. And then the forecasting tool, which is my favorite, where you can just maybe forecast and it can give you details. And this forecasting tool can also be edited. You can edit in terms of what it is that you would want to see. So if I source text and I increase it, for example, over there, it would show me the date that I entered, the time, and also the price level over there. Okay, so this would be my source text. And I say my target background, to increase my target background again, so that is obviously my background increases over there. Target text, okay, so target text, again, I could increase my target text, as you basically see over there. So one is the source text and one is the target text. Okay, so for me, this is by and large absolutely beautiful. And it's one of my favorite tools that I basically use when I am exploring price range. Okay, so let's get to the next thing. Okay, so now I would go to my next one. And again, this is my brush. So say if I wanted to draw something, there I have drawn it. Okay, so that is, by way of my brush. I could also change the color of that. Then I've got my arrow over here where I could, have an arrow, and sometimes you'd want to use an arrow to determine maybe a price range. So for example, say you are, trading smart money concepts, and you are using the idea of buy side liquidity being taken, for example. So you could say that this is a high, which is BSL high that was taken. And then you can, if you double click on that, you can actually put your text. So my text would be BSL, and you can bold it. You can also put it into italics, and there's a way your text will appear. And say, for example, I wanted to change text color, make it white for this example. Boom, then I change my text color over there. So you can see that this is, buy side liquidity that I've drawn over there. And again, this is where you could, see a lot of things. You could extend this to the left, you could extend this to the right, and then you could have, your price range, percentage change, how it's written there. Okay, but because it's a straight horizontal line, I'm not really seeing my percentage changes. But if I were to say do it like this, for example, and then I were to double click on it, okay, and then I go back and I select the same things that I selected. So let's go to percentage change, now you can see the percentage change. But if it's a horizontal line, it will mark it as 0. But if it changes, then you can see the percentage change over there. Okay. So again, this is something that, you know, I would love to, something that I love incorporating. Okay. So you've got your brush for drawing, then you've got your rectangle, favorite tool, and my circle, as well as my path. So rectangle, if I click on rectangle, it just allows me to draw my rectangle, for example. Okay. So if I had, say, this as an area of an order block, and I drawn my rectangle, so let's wait for the market to trade back into this level, and this would be a trade entry that I would take to the upside. Okay. And of which, you know, if I can maybe show you a paper trade example, it would be beautiful. Okay, of which I will definitely do that. Okay, so this would be where you draw your rectangle. Okay, and this is obviously geometric shape. So you've got forecasting and measurement tools. You've got patterns, you've got Gann, Fibonacci, you've got trend line, you have got geometric shapes, which is where I am right now. And you can see you've got your circle. If you put your circle, you know, you've got your circle there. And then you've also got your path. Okay, now I love my path a lot because it helps me to, you know, define or explain, you know, when I mentoring, you know, my students. And let's say, for example, I select the path, you know, it then allows me to create, say, if I'm explaining that this is an uptrend, that makes things so much easier for me when I do things, when I use this. Okay. So these are tools, different tools that you can look at exploring. We've got triangle, polyline, ellipse, you know, double curve. Okay. And then right there at the bottom, we have got your text or your annotation tools. So this would be your text. For example, if you wanted to write a text, call out. So I sometimes love using this call out. So if I click on this call out tab and say I saw this as a you know, NFP monthly reversal model on the 1st of month, then I can just click there and I can just say 1st of month or beginning of month, beginning, I could say beginning of month reversal, okay, reversal condition. All right. So beginning of month reversal condition, and I could clearly mark this off over there, and I could, you know, change it in terms of where I want to put it. And this is also the very, you know, beautiful thing about this, you know, specific tool. I normally use this tool when I am training and when I am taking my students through, you know, the process of how different things work. Okay. And then if we can essentially go to this tool, this is, you know, where one can basically zoom in, and then this is, you know, your magnet. So this magnet is very beautiful, right? You've got a weak magnet, and then you've also got a strong magnet, right? Now, I love, you know, using this tool a lot because let's say, for example, you have selected a horizontal array, for example, okay, and you want to mark off exactly where the trend basically started. So what this magnet does is that it takes you to, you know, your closest OHLC, your closest, you know, you could put your OHLC values, and it just, you know, goes through to them for you. Do you understand? So if you can just scroll, so if I happen to scroll down, it gracefully moves through my OHLC values. Okay. You see how beautiful this is. So I can mark my chart and I can put it, say I can put it over here, and then it would want to obviously, you know, take me to my strongest OHLC values, which is beautiful, depending on, you know, what I would have, you know, selected over there. So the magnet tool, and we've also got a weak magnet over there. So I've got a strong magnet, we've got a weak magnet. Okay. And you can basically see that it will give you, you know, the functioning of this basic tool over there. Okay. Then you've got, you want to stay in drawing mode, if you want to lock all your drawings. And then this is if you have drawings and you want to maybe put an eye on them so that you don't see them, you can do that. And then this is obviously for new drawings that will be in sync with layout, or drawings that will be in sync basically globally. So like a link, for example, link of drawings. Okay, so now that would be what I would, use over there. Okay, so then we go to the top of our screen. Okay, absolutely beautiful. So on the top of our screen, this is where we would have the time intervals. Now, some time intervals you can only select after you upgrade. So I trade using 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15. These are all the time intervals that I, look at. So I would use 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 8 hour, 4 hour for my higher time frame bias. And then for lower time frames, I'll start from 2 hour, 1 hour, go all the way to about 15 minutes. And then 5 minute to 1 minute is where I would use, to basically execute my trades. Okay. Now I can't basically, okay, so this is 1 second. This is 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15, as well as 30 seconds. Okay, so you can be able to check live charts based on seconds, but then it would need you to upgrade if you wanted to use that feature. Okay, so if I upgrade it to premium or to exert, then that is where it would, I think, allow me to use this particular tool. So I'm currently on the essential plan, but then there's an essential plus, and then there is a premium plan. So if I upgraded to my premium plan, then I could obviously look at the market from a 1 second view. Okay, so right now I've only got access to the market on a 1 minute window. Okay, so if you want to upgrade, then you obviously need to basically pay. But this is where you would select all of your time frames, and you can see that I've starred, and if I unstar them, it takes them out of what I basically see over there. Now, these tools are very important, or time is very important as well, because the market moves to stops, and it moves to inefficiencies. So what you want to do is that you want to make sure that you select your time, because then it will make things easier for you when you come to the 1 minute time frame and you can see what is happening. Okay, if you trade SMC, then you'll know that there's a certain algo that delivers price, or there's algorithm that delivers price, and you can buy in way have a look at the market clearer when it comes to filling in inefficiencies, moving into areas like fair value gaps, imbalances, and so forth. But it's also a very important tool, even if you don't trade SMC, for just pure forecasting, and for seeing what the market does when it reaches your POIs, or your points of interest. So say, for example, now you're trading support and resistance, you want to see what the market does when it comes to a point of support turning resistance, example, right, or resistance turning support. So you could use that to essentially backtest. For example, here's an example. So as a resistance breakout, and then we so this would be a break and retest, and then we went up in the opposite direction over there. Okay, and then also, so this would be very nice. And then if you are again looking at your other angle, this would be considered as a triple bottom, which which weighs heavily on other traders, or a support area, for example, which is maybe a strategy that other traders would basically use, as people don't trade the same way. And the goal of trading is to essentially make money. So it doesn't matter how you trade, as long as the method that you use is profitable to you. Okay, and then if you select this bar style, you can see that my chart changes now to bars. I love bars, OHLC value. Explain it 1 day. This is your Heikkei Ashi. These are your hollow candles basically over there, and your step line, and all of these that you basically use. But what we use to analyze is we use candles. That's why I've selected my candles. But if you wanted to maybe explore, see what the bar chart looks like, then that's where you would go to. If you wanted to see what an area chart looks like, that is what you would basically select. Okay, so mostly I select the candles. Now this tool is used for technical indicators. So say, for example, now We obviously do have invite only scripts that you get by being invited only. Then there's community scripts, financial. So say now you wanted to use Bollinger Band. So you would come here and then you would type in Bollinger Band. Okay. Now when you type in Bollinger Band, you click on it once. Okay. And when you click on it once, you can see that now your Bollinger Band is essentially on the screen. Okay. So, and if you wanted to say, take these Bollinger Bands out, okay, you just click on the option that will be, that has X, okay? And you can, by in way, also hide your Bollinger Bands by this eye, unhide it, okay? And if you wanted it to be on your chart, and you can, if you click on settings, for example, you can adjust your settings. So standard deviation of your Bollinger Bands, the length of your Bollinger Bands, etc. So the setting tool, you could basically, change those kinds of settings over there on your Bollinger Bands. Okay, and these are some of the technical indicators that I have studied, in my past. I always used to be a very big fan of technical indicators. So if I were to select Ichimoku clouds, for example, then, you can see, this would be the Ichimoku cloud, and I can change my, settings in terms of my style. I can change my colors over there, and I can leading span, lagging span. See, when I untick that, see what happens? Leading span, lagging span, leading span, lagging span. Okay. So you can change your settings again on your Ichimoku, but this is where you would basically find your technical indicators by just clicking over here and by way searching them. Okay, by clicking on technicals, and you can search all of your indicators that you want to use, or click on the search tab, or when you get them, then you can just favorite them. So if I am looking at accumulation distribution, for example, I can click on this thing over here. It will favorite them. Then when I go here to favorites, I can see accumulation distribution. So if I remove it from my favorites, then accumulation distribution won't be there. Okay. Now, for people that use it, indicators a lot, this would maybe help you to favorite or to store them, so that at least you can have a better, view, or make things rather simple for yourself. All right. And then here I've got my indicator templates. Here I've got my create an alert. So say now you looking at NASDAQ at 15,194 level. You can obviously adjust the price of your alert in terms of where you want it to be. So if I say 15,180, okay, now you will see on the left hand side of the screen, your alert will basically change. This is where my alert is, and I say the alert name, I can put it and say buy limit, for example. Okay, I name that alert name buy limit, and then the message is crossing. So when it crosses, it's going to alert me on my device, either on my phone or on my computer, that price is actually crossing on that particular level, where I've essentially then decided to put my alert. So you see, there's my alert. So if the price gets to this level, it will alert me. Okay, and I can also remove my alert by way of pressing that X over there, and I've deleted my alert. Now, one of my favorite tools that I like to use is this bar replay tool. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful. I use it for, back testing a lot. So say, for example, now I back test, say I am here, for example, okay, and as I am here, I see that, okay, fine. Now we are tapping in, or we have tapped into this order block. Now what I'm expecting for the market to do is to buy from this order block, to the upside. Okay. So say now I decide to take this tool back over here, and I say I want to buy. Okay. So it's a very beautiful tool to also be able to check your strategy, check your profitability in your strategy. Okay. So if I click on play, it will pay 10x the speed. If I click on, so this way I can basically adjust my speed. If I click on 1x, so then it will go, and then it will go 1x, the speed. And also, if I click on pause, I can adjust how price moves by just clicking on this button over here, forward, and then I can just constantly click on forward. Now, say for example, see now I've clicked on it a bit too much, but say for example now price say got to this level and I wanted to buy, so I click on buy over here, and then I play it forward. Okay, price comes back, it taps into my level, and tapping into my level, it then continues to the upside. And then so I can just forward it by playing like this. Okay, or what I could do is I could just click on play right there in the middle, and it will just, it will just move. So I can always adjust my speed. If I wanted 3x the speed, to go 3x the speed. If I wanted 10x the speed, it will go 10x the speed. Okay, so this is one of my favorite tools, because now I know that I can basically use this tool for back testing. Okay, now say I wanted to close, and then I just click on sell, then that would be a trade close. As you can see, $21,000. And then if I go here and click to the end, it will give me my results. Okay, so congrats trader, your hard work shows on NASDAQ 100 bar replay. Okay, and then I could, maybe click on the X on the bottom of my screen, and then that would be done with. If I wanted to delete that, I could just remove all the drawings over there. All right, and then over here is where you are to select your layout. So you can see my TradingView is a subscribed TradingView. So I have paid a monthly subscription fee for it. So I should see this option over here. But if you don't have your subscription fee that you've paid, maybe this option then will not be available, for you to basically select. Okay. But if you wanted to select where you could view two charts at once, you can do that, compare and contrast. If your TradingView is a subscription TradingView, and if it's not, you obviously have this single option over here. So if I go to I click on there, now you can see that now I've got two screens basically on my laptop, and I can now compare and contrast. So I can come to my top left here, and I can select any currency, or I could even select maybe the same say same stock, NASDAQ, and let's say I want to see this, because this is a 1 minute time frame. So let's say I want to see now this part on a 1 hour time frame, for example. Okay, now I've selected that, and now I can see it on a 1 hour time frame. Okay, now it's showing me what is happening on a 1 hour time frame, as you can see. Okay, and I can obviously remove my drawings over there. And then if I want to show one of the screens, so say I want to show this one on the right, I would then simply click on where you see toggle maximize. So I'll just maximize it over there. Now it's fully maximized, as you guys can see. And if I wanted to minimize, then I could essentially click on minimize, and it is minimized over there. And with what I have used, I can essentially do the same thing for my other chart. Okay, so for the chart on the left, I just click on it, left click, and then I can maximize, this chart over there. Okay, now I have maximized this chart, as you guys can basically see over there. Now my chart is maximized, and I can, do everything, on it, as you see. All right, and then this would obviously be another, a tool of function where you can type or search for drawings, okay, and settings. And then this one, would be where you can adjust your background settings over here. Okay, so now the setting is very important. So you can adjust your background, you can adjust your candlesticks. So if, let's say, for example, I were to click on body, okay, there you can see, and I were to change this to green. All right, see, I want to change this to green, and I want to change the opacity. So you can see now my body has changed to green, and I want to change back to my original color, black. So body, borders, and wicks, this is where you'd basically change the colors of that. Your last price is this line over here. You can also change the color. So I can change this to blue, for example, and you see now it's changed to blue over there. And I can change it to white. Now it's changed to white over there. Okay, so now this is by, you can also, you know, access what you see over here by right clicking your mouse or your laptop, or, you know, right clicking on your computer where you can, then click on settings. Then this is where you would get this. So this is where you would get your symbols, status line, logo. So if I unclick logo, you can see on the bottom left, or the top left, this are just my logo. This one is my title. I can't see my title now. Now I can't see it. Now I can see it. I can't see it. Now I can see it. Okay, so that would be, you know, my title, OHLC values. So open, high, low, close values. Okay, on my 1 minute time frame, I can see them. I can't see them. Okay, so I can see them. There they are. Now I can't see them. All right, and then so scales, canvas. So if I wanted to change my background, for example, or my text, say now my text, this text, I wanted it to be blue, then I'll just click on that blue. So my text is into blue, and I'll change it back into white. If I wanted my lines, you know, these lines to change color, now they've changed color over there. I can make them white again. They've changed color again. And then say this is my watermark. Now I don't like accessing this watermark, but say I clicked on my watermark and I changed the color to white. You can now see NASDAQ US 100 cash CFD, and it's showing number 1 over there. So then I unclick on that. Trading buy or sell buttons, there they are. So if I click that, now I don't see them. If I click it, now I see them. So basically, guys, this is where, you know, on the settings tab, this is where you can set up your background by clicking on symbol. Sorry, on symbol, you can set up the bodies of your candles. And here you can also select high, low. So this is the low, and this was the high, you know, of this range of the day. And you can, you know, if you unclick it, then the high and the low won't show. And if you click it, the high or the low will show. And I think for me, this is absolutely beautiful, because it's something that I use a lot in the markets, open, high, low, close. All right. So then let's get moving. Okay, then here, this would just be to access full mode. And then if you click top left on your keyboard, just click on escape, then you could escape all of that. And then here would be my camera. So if I wanted to take a screenshot, I'll just, you know, download, just click on it. And you say file save to downloaded folder. So if I go to my downloaded folder, that is where my screenshot would show. Okay, and as well as you can copy this image, copy the link, open this in a new tab, and maybe you can even tweet this, you know, on Twitter basically. So if I click on tweet image, then it will take me to Twitter. Then I can be able to tweet this image. Okay. Publish, I can publish an idea. So let's click on publish idea, and then I can just write whatever idea that I have over there on my chart. And I can also record a video. I can do a live stream, and I can also have a section where I just maybe speak my mind, you know, what I'm thinking. Okay, so, and all by way of clicking on publish. So I can also record a video idea, so a short intro to video publishing, and then I can just click on continue publishing, and now it's essentially connecting me. Okay, so as I'm speaking and I'm on the Zoom, it's going to connect me, and it's going to, you know, publish you know, everything that I am saying, for example. All right. Okay, cool. So let's then move on to the next step. So you can see it's still, you know, by way connecting over there. So I'll just move, you know, for now, and then I'll stop publishing after maybe it said connected or whatever the case is. All right, cool. And then let's go. So then what I see, if I click on this tab over here, watch list. So this is where I can get, you know, my watch list, and I can, if I click on plus, I can add anything to my watch list. I can add stocks, I can add funds. As you can see over there, I can add, you know, futures if I'm trading, you know, e-mini futures, contracts, micro. That is basically where I can basically add it over there. Okay, so I would obviously look at adding any Forex or crypto. This is my watch list on the right hand side of my screen, as we can see over there. Okay, and then here, this would obviously be my alerts. The next option be my data window. Okay, my data window, Nasdaq 100 1 minute time frame. If I click on 5, it will change Nasdaq 100 5 minute. It shows me about my open, high, low, close, my change, and then the volume. If I click on this fire emoji over there, it shows me US exchanges, etc. Okay, of which I'm not going to delve too much about that. And this one shows me my economic calendar. So that's the option where I can basically see what is happening, in the charts in terms of, or what is happening in the market from a fundamental point of view. Okay. And then this is obviously my ideas. So you can basically see that I've only published about 3 ideas over here. Okay, this was first idea, this was the second, or this was the first one, this was the second one, and this was, my latest idea that I published over there. Okay, and then this is, if you want to maybe comment, to some things that some people have, published, you can do that. And then I've got no notifications yet. These are live shows for traders where people can have their live shows. And then this is, basically, again, what I've basically published over there and the people that, follow me. All right. And then lastly, if you go to the bottom of your screen, you could see that you've got stock screener, Pine editor, strategy tester, and trading panel. So if I click on trading panel, okay, what I can do is if I click on trading panel, and I can actually increase this by clicking on my bottom right. So now this is increased. You can see that, it takes me to all of my brokers, all of the brokers that, can be connected to TradingView over there. And then if you obviously don't see your broker, then you say no broker, then you obviously would open an account over there. Okay. Now, what is very nice for me in this sense is that you can also paper trade. So say, for example, now I want to, practice my strategy on TradingView. So I just click on here where it says paper trading, and then I just click on connect. Okay, so then this allows me to be connected. So you can adjust your balance. So my account balance is $100, but you can always adjust your account balance, okay, depending on what you want your account balance to be. And you can, by clicking on reset account. And if you click on reset account, you can, adjust your balance over there. So I'll click on this drop down arrow, left click over here on these 3 buttons, reset account. And by clicking reset account, I can change it to $100. So if I change it, let's say, just by make a practical example, let's say I change it to $200, right? And right now it's currently sitting at $100. I click on reset. So if I reset this, so it's going to be, it says $2,100. Okay, so I added another. So if I click on reset account, for example, okay. All right, and then I want to obviously reset that. There we go. Let's reset to $200. And if I want to reset it back to $100, I can reset it back to $100. Okay, by clicking reset. Now it's reset back to $100. And I can also, then if I go back, now this has taken me, you'll see these buttons over here, which is the sell or the buy market. Okay, now my buy and sell buttons are active over there. And say, for example, I do a bar replay. Okay, I say I do a bar replay over there, and I then decide to say mark this as an area of support, for example. So I just mark this thing off over there. And then what I'm waiting for, so what I'll do is I'll want to play this manually, so take it to 1x speed, and just click on this button. Okay, left click, boom. Let's say I wanted to buy over there. So I click on buy and then watch the market. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, boom. Okay, say now say it's bought. And this is basically what you see. Okay, now this is what you've been able to do from your paper trading. But over here, you can always adjust, the quantity to 1, It doesn't have to be like 1,050. It could also be one. And then this way you can either buy or sell depending on, what it is that you want to do. Okay. You can close this thing off in terms of your bar replay. Okay. And you can actually also log out of your paper trading account by expanding this, and just by going to paper trading, and then you just click on log out of your paper trading account. Okay. Now I've logged out of my paper trading account. And yeah, so that's it for now. I hope that you guys absolutely enjoyed this, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Until the next video, take care and much love. Thanks, everyone.